Hello and welcome to the Maximum Happiness course, session 18, The Power of Goals. The importance of goals during a crisis. The year 2020 wrought havoc and tragedy around the globe, with so many lives lost, jobs and businesses a casualty, and the suspension of so many of our personal freedoms and privileges due to the coronavirus pandemic. It's likely that in the midst of such a crisis, you're managing competing priorities, which can, if we let it, put an indefinite hold on the happiness and growth in our lives. It's in such times that goals to help you regain control of your future life are more important than ever. With goals and a sense of direction and purpose, you'll increase your chances of coming through the other side of this crisis with clarity and swinging the odds in your favour to secure the maximum happiness and optimal potential that has always been your birthright. Do you have an inner desire to be, to have and do more? Setting goals starts with finding something that you really want, breaking it down into bite-sized pieces and blocking out the negative messages that are especially present during times of crisis like this. Whether you thrived during the months of the pandemic or you're still in your lockdown pyjamas watching this on your phone whilst eating last night's melted ice cream like soup, you probably had some big ideas before the crisis about the multiple projects that you would be accomplishing whilst you were isolating at home. Possibly you haven't started them all yet. Maybe you haven't started any of them. If you could see your future in a crystal ball like this, what would you want the future to look like? What would you be, have and do in that future? Now is the time to take the rudder of that ship of yours, bringing all you have read and heard in the sessions up to this point together. You'll be better equipped to set the goals that will deliver the happier life and future that you truly deserve. Some steps before we launch into setting your goals. These steps appear again at the start of the goal planner that accompanies this course. So before we actually get into the meat of setting goals, there's some initial preparatory steps which are effectively the repeating some of the exercises that we've experienced throughout the course. So we start by rereading the Managing Expectations section in session 1, What is Happiness? Complete the How Happy Are You test at the end of session 2, Steps to Happiness. This is the starting point where you'll clarify how happy or unhappy you are in the key areas of your life right now before you kick off with these goals. Face the truths about yourself. Take the authenticity test that was in session 3, The Real You. Clarify where your life is presently out of balance regarding your essential human needs by completing the Wheel of Life exercise in session 4. Complete the exercise in session 5, How Did I Get Here? Providing clarity regarding whether the events, choices and people who have influenced your life are still serving you. Revisit session 6 to determine if the beliefs that underpin your emotions and actions are still valid and current, or are they now redundant and obstructing your progress. Identify your core values in the values identification exercise that was in session 7. This is essential to set meaningful goals going forward. Goals not based on your core values will not deliver the sustainable, increased happiness that you're seeking. Conduct your own self-analysis of current levels of self-esteem, of your self-esteem, by completing the How Healthy Is Your Self-Esteem exercise at the end of Session 8, Know Thyself. Use the perception cycle process that you learned about in Session 9 to change some of your thoughts, to change your outcomes for the better. It's particularly useful when setting goals. And just for fun, try the exercise in emotional expression in Session 10, the emotions and feelings session. Become more aware of the effects that certain emotions have upon your moods and your state of happiness. Learn to choose the emotions that you want to experience and those that you want to avoid. Practice the exercise in Session 13, the power of energy. Identify the change that you require in relaxation. Identify why a behaviour is positive or negative. Use your creative imagination to take responsibility for making those changes. Revisit Session 16, the power of appreciation. Apply your own examples to see how enhancing your appreciative traits can transform your moods and subsequently your state of happiness. Taking these preparatory steps will better equip you for the exciting process that lies ahead of setting your goals for the future by having you determine where you started, where you are now, and how much further you need to go to get to where you want to get to. Essentially, having goals helps you determine where you started, where you are now, how much further you need to go. And in this manner, your goal setting can serve as milestones and benchmarks that help you to determine how well you're progressing towards your most important goals. Having travelled this far in the course, and thank you for following up to this point, it's important to progress to this, the most important of stages, where you'll take everything that you've learned to move forward to setting and achieving those goals and blasting those goals. Perhaps the most vital part of this process. If you're only given 5 minutes to hear the most important thought and piece of advice about becoming happier and more successful, that advice should surely be: write down your goals, make plans to achieve them, and work on those plans every day. So what are goals and why should we have them? Why do we have them? A goal is simply a target to aim for, something that when achieved will enhance your life in some way. It's a statement of positive intent, something that you are absolutely committed to, and something that you work towards by taking daily actions of one description or another. Can you imagine a football match that had no goalposts or nets, or a race with no finish line? Very simplistic perhaps, but it wouldn't work, would it? Without the goals or a finish line, the whole purpose of the match or the race is lost. Without goals, your life lacks purposeful direction, or at the very least, it's extremely diluted. Goals, quite simply, are what we want to be, what we want to have, and what we want to do. The purpose of this session is to bring together all that you've learned up to this point, combined with your own experiences and knowledge, to give you tools to turbo boost your goal setting so that you may more purposefully attract what you want into your life that will enhance your experience of happiness and fulfillment. Types of goals. So we've established what goals are and why it's important to have them. It's also important to have different types of goals. Why? Well, quite simply because we have different areas of our lives to balance out, and some journeys take longer than others. For example, clearing the clutter in your living room is a goal that should take no more than a few days, you would hope. Whereas leaving law school with a goal to become a fully fledged High Court barrister or a Queen's Counsel will take a number of years of hard work. Goals can be separated into go up goals, give up goals, and deficiency goals. So let's talk about go up goals. These are primarily growth goals. Go up goals are growth goals. Something that you wish to attain. A new job, promotion, personal development, studying new subjects, becoming an author. They are goals that, when achieved, will move you upwards in your life, towards being the person that you wish to become, doing the things you want to do, and having what you desire in life. In an ideal world, everyone you know would support you in these goals. But the sad fact is that your friends and family may try and prevent you from attaining your goals, sometimes knowingly. People who know you may either not want to see you fail or get hurt, stating such things like, "Don't bother trying, then you won't have to deal with failing," or "Are you sure?" Indeed, some may deliberately or secretly wish to sabotage your efforts because they actually have a vested personal interest in keeping you where you are now. They could become jealous of you, achieving the things that you've set out to do, or perhaps they couldn't cope with the dynamics of a friendship where you have clear boundaries and don't allow them to influence what you do. Some will be happier with your less accomplishing self because they feel threatened or insecure by your newfound success and achievement and sense of aspiration. The moral is very simple. Be extremely selective about who you choose to share your go up goals with. Share them with people who absolutely have your best interests at heart and are willing to support you, to help and motivate you in the achievement of your go up goals. Then there are the give up goals. These encompass such things as becoming a non-smoker, losing weight, reducing alcohol, excessive spending, removing our victim or caretaker type behaviours, basically ridding yourself of destructive habits. It's a good idea to let everyone know your give up goals, or ideally a friend who shares the goal so that you can encourage each other. If you want to give up smoking, for example, the more people you know, the more likely it is that someone will be around to keep you to your goal plan when you get the urge to light up a cigarette. Then there are the deficiency goals. These are the ones that only become goals when something is taken away from you, or when you realise not having this thing has an extreme detrimental effect on your life and happiness. For example, your health. Many people take their health for granted, eating and drinking exactly what they want, not taking supplements, not exercising, not getting regular medical checkups, etc. The attitude often is, in these cases, I'll start my fitness campaign tomorrow, and tomorrow never comes. But one day the heart attack comes, and assuming they survive, health then becomes their number one priority. it never got a look in before. So be specific. It's important from the outset that you be as specific and as detailed as you can regarding what you want from life. With a definite, specific goal, you can more accurately visualize exactly what it is that will make you happy, and more likely to attract it into your life with the appropriate action that you'll take. As the quote at the beginning of this section in the booklet states, without goals you drift through life, effectively giving up control and therefore allowing other people or outside events to shape your destiny. This can in turn lead to frustration, anger, stress, and even depression. Would you rather create your own destiny or be a part of someone else's? The best way to split your goals in terms of the time frames is short term, 1 to 3 months. Medium term, 3 months to a year. And long term, 1 to 3 years. You can look beyond that, but this is for the purposes of this exercise. That's not to say that any goal which takes longer than 3 years is not to be considered. It is, but you need to really think about your long-term vision for your future, because one day you'll arrive there, and unless you're working on shaping your future right now, those goals and visions will always remain somewhere out in the distance. These goals need to be chunked down into time frames starting from today and working forward. Goals into plans of action. A goal that is not written down in a plan is just a wish. Working backwards from your 3-year target, establish what needs to be done in year 3, then year 2, then this year. From your list of what needs to be achieved this year, break it down into what needs to be done in the 4th quarter, the 3rd quarter, the 2nd quarter, and then in the next quarter that lies ahead, the next 3 months. From your 3-month list, break it down into what needs to be done in the 3rd month, the 2nd month, and then this month. From your this month list, break it down into what needs to be done in the 4th, 3rd, 2nd, and finally this week. From your goal list, schedule your daily tasks. Write them in a weekly planner or a diary and tick them as they are accomplished. You'll find the goal planner that accompanies the course guides you in this respect and asks you the questions and even provides you with templates to complete that help you to achieve this. Any unaccomplished goals should be transferred forward to the next period. Do not punish yourself for goals that you haven't been able to achieve yet. Learn from the experience and move on. Ensure that your short-term goals are feeder goals for your medium-term targets, and likewise your medium-term goals are feeder goals to your long-term targets. Whilst many people have goals relating to their work, few spend time setting goals for all the other areas of their lives. Some people will associate having goals with material possessions, a mansion with a pool, lots of money, a sports car, designer clothes, etc. However, for people who are not motivated by such possessions, the mere idea of setting them puts them in conflict, because they may not be aware that goal setting is holistic, covering all elements of life, not just our possessions. There's nothing wrong with material goods, but in order to achieve that balanced life that we've talked about in earlier sessions in the Wheel of Life, goals need to be set in all of the areas. For example, our family, our friends, our social life, our health, our spiritual, our financial, our health and well-being, and significant other and the physical environments of our life. This may be your first foray into goal setting, or you may have tried before without success. We'll look at the common reasons why people fail in their efforts to set and accomplish goals later. By deliberately placing goals towards the end of this course, we've provided ourselves with the best opportunity to acquire as much contributory preparatory information as we can before sitting down to complete this life-changing exercise. Using the power of your subconscious mind to set your goals. Your subconscious mind cannot distinguish between truth and fantasy, right and wrong, real or unreal. It simply accepts verbal input from your conscious mind as absolute truth, regardless of the reality. It repeats and replays the commands that you give it. All you need to do, therefore, is convince your subconscious mind that your desire already exists. We've explored the power of the human mind in an earlier session, and you might wish to revisit some of those pages to boost your efforts in goal setting. It's estimated that the average person has between 30,000 to 60,000 thoughts a day. Please understand that every thought you have is either moving you towards your goals and who you want to become, or it's moving you away from them. There is no neutral position. Every thought counts. That's quite frightening when you realise that of those 30,000 to 60,000 daily thoughts, approximately 85% of our thoughts are repeats from the past, and of that 85%, through our conditioning and lack of prior thought control, more than 3/4 of them are negative thoughts. The subconscious mind is like fertile soil. It will accommodate and germinate any seed that you consistently plant there, be it positive or negative. This adds new meaning to the term. Be careful what you think about. As they say in computer terminology, garbage in, garbage out. If negative seeds are planted consistently, you mustn't be surprised when negativity is what comes back to you. Happily, the same can be said of positive seeds. If you plant positivity, that's what you'll get back. The steps towards effecting positive permanent change are simple. That's not to say it's easy. It requires consistent daily work. Left unattended, the human mind works within your own personal comfort zone. And unless you train it through the habit of thought, it will continue to feed back what it always has and steer your life in the direction that it always has gone. If you keep on thinking the same things in the same way, you'll keep on getting the same results. If you keep on thinking the same things in the same way, you'll keep on getting the same results. Feed your mind with the idea what you desire already exists, and it will heighten your awareness to opportunities around you that are consistent with the goals that you're seeking to achieve. Attach emotion to the thoughts of desire and you'll amplify those vibrational thoughts of attractive energy to bring about your desires that much faster. Attraction into your life of circumstances, ideas, events and people that harmonise with your most dominant thoughts and desires then comes naturally. Remember, you become what you think about most of the time. 5 essential elements of goal achievement. You will have come across the mnemonic SMART, S-M-A-R-T, if you've been introduced to goal setting previously. It's used extensively in training sessions and human and personal development courses, and means that when setting goals they should be specific, measurable, achievable, agreed or action oriented, realistic and time phased. There's a short video on screen that takes you through the SMART goal setting process. Goals need to be specific, measurable, achievable, realistic and timely. Make each goal specific. Not, I want to be richer. How much money specifically? £100,000 in investments and £50,000 in cash? What is rich to you may be totally different for someone else. I want to end world hunger is not a specific goal, whereas I see myself working for an international relief agency is a specific goal. Set measurable goals. This is easy with goals such as weight loss or financial goals, but I want to be a better salesperson is unquantifiable. What does better mean to you? I am becoming a better salesperson who will meet and exceed the targets of a 10% increase in the coming financial year is specific and measurable. Goals need to be achievable and agreed or action oriented. If you fail to plan, you're planning to fail. And if you don't take action, it will never happen. Decide what goals are realistic. Realistic doesn't mean something that you would ordinarily do. That's not a goal. If goals are not challenging, they don't stretch you. The feeling of real achievement doesn't happen, and you get bored easily. However, if they are virtually impossible, you may become disheartened at your perceived lack of progress and fulfill your own prophecy of I never achieve my goals. Goals need to be time phased. Basically, you need to put dates next to when you want to have achieved your goals and dates for milestones and along the way. Be careful though that the milestones don't become millstones around your neck. These target dates also feed into what needs to be done this month, this week and today, and need to be written in your planner or your diary. The SMART goals process is the smart way of setting and achieving goals. The importance of value-based goals. This is an extremely important section of goal setting. No goal achieved will give you true fulfillment unless it's congruent with your personal values. It's imperative that you establish your hierarchy of values before contemplating setting goals in the relevant areas of your life. You may recall we looked at the setting the hierarchy of values in the values section earlier in the course. There are many books, workshops on goal setting, and you may have your preferred method. Return back to the section on values that we went through. Establishing core values is your first step to goal setting. You must intensely desire that which you seek, i.e. love, because you'll automatically attract to you that which you love. It's impossible to desire something strongly that is not congruent with your basic values in life, as you cannot love that which you do not value. If you don't value something and you still want it, it's not congruent, and it's never going to come your way. Think of a salesperson, for example, who lists family at the top of their values and health as the second most important. They have a goal of being the top salesperson in their field, earning £200,000 per annum. In order to achieve the goal, they choose to travel for 10 months of the year, working 14 hours a day, eating fast food for lunch and business dinners with clients in the evening. When they are at home, they play golf with the managing director, and the rest of the time they sleep or watch TV. Can you see what conflicts exist here? How can he possibly have family as his top value when he's never there to contribute to it? Stephen Covey's quote of climbing to the top of the ladder of success, then realizing it's leaning against the wrong wall, comes to mind. Now go back to the value session that we've been through previously. And if you haven't completed the exercise to establish your core values, do it now. It also appears in the goal planner that accompanies the course. There are 12 further elements for goal achievement that I'd like you to know about. As well as the 5 SMART elements already described, the following steps must also be incorporated. One, be passionate about your goal, which must be personal. Live it, breathe it, taste it, make it your magnificent obsession. Thomas Edison was passionate about finding a way to produce incandescent light with the use of electricity. He didn't give up. It's said that he was once asked how it felt to have failed 700 times. His reply was, "I haven't failed. I've discovered 700 ways how not to do it." Number 2, always state your goals in the present tense and in the positive. I will give up smoking is neither. That's a futuristic statement. Giving up suggests the loss of something, regardless of whether it's healthy or not. And most smokers will, on the whole, claim categorically that they enjoy smoking. I will also suggest some date sometime in the future, not now, so you can keep putting it off. The subconscious mind disregards this because it only accepts present tense information and it doesn't know when to deliver for you. It's confused. You can affect subconscious change only by communicating in the language that it understands, the present tense. This comes from the theory of cognitive dissonance, which states that when you hold two psychologically inconsistent thoughts, you experience dissonance or a sense of tension and inharmonious feelings. The subconscious mind, in an attempt to reduce the discomfort of the conflicting messages, does everything it can to create the most recently imposed suggestions or self-talk. Using present tense, you are telling to your subconscious mind to start working today. A goal that is not written down is merely a wish. We said this earlier. All the golden formula for goal setting agree that your goals must be written down. Number 3, keep a goal journal. The goal planner that accompanies the course is perfect for this. This should contain each of your goals together with the reasons why you want them and how they will feed your core values. Allocate at least one page for each goal and date it at the top. Record your progress. This will show you where you started and how far you've come. and where you still have to go to get to the achievement of that goal. Set aside a time and a place every week to transfer your daily, weekly actions into your goal journal or planner. This will keep you on track and keep you motivated when you realise just how far that you've come. Choose a journal, folder or planner that evokes a passion, something that you want to use and feel comfortable handling regularly. Writing goals on scraps of paper gives the message that they are unimportant. Your subconscious mind will receive that message and act on it, or not, as the case may be. Review your goals and your progress regularly. Write a summary of your goals on a goal card, which you carry with you always. Read your goal card every morning and every evening. If you do something regularly at the same time in the same way, it will soon become a habit. Allocate time for this daily review session. Think about your goals. See them in your mind as you read. Revisit your goal journal and your planner every week and record the progress that you've made. If during the week you've taken no action towards your goal, write nothing in big red letters. If you've done nothing for more than 1 week, it's time to question the validity of the goal that you've set for yourself. As time goes on, you may find that you need to update one or more of your goals. Your priorities may change. Make the necessary adjustments in your planner, in your goal journal. Of course, the best update session of all is when you have achieved the goal that you set out to achieve, and you can put a big tick next to it, and there's a sense of achievement that accompanies that. Time now for a reward and to replace it with a new goal once you've achieved that one. Number 4, use the goal journal or the planner to record affirmations that you'll be using to retrain your subconscious mind. Affirmations are statements used to reprogram the subconscious. Remember the 4 P's and make them positive, provoking emotion, in the present tense, and personal. You can see the 4 P's table on screen and the features and benefits that accompany it. Positive. As the mind thinks in pictures, it has difficulty processing a negatively stated goal. It's not possible for the mind to picture you not doing something, and by using positive affirmations you shift the mind from concentrating on what you don't want to do to what you do want. Provoking emotion. We have touched on this in previous sessions, but the more feeling that you blend with your self-talk, the faster it impacts on your subconscious mind. Use words that you wouldn't ordinarily use. Passionate, bold and fun words. That'll pique the interest of your subconscious mind. Make the affirmations emotionally relevant to you. Use the present tense. As we've said, the language of your subconscious mind that it understands is present tense. It doesn't understand or acknowledge the past or the future. Speak its language and it will understand. Tell it consistently and it will act. Feed it with the idea that the condition you desire already exists. The most powerful words in the English language come after the words I am. Use ing words such as receiving, deserving, acquiring. These are verbs conjugated in the present, suggesting that it's actually happening at this very moment. Now is another good word to emphasize present tense to your subconscious mind. And make the affirmations personal. Affirmations that you create yourself, which are personal to your life, your values and your goals, are the most effective. Until you get used to the language, by all means borrow some. Then edit them to personalize them. You need to get into the habit of saying your affirmations daily. The more you feed your subconscious mind, the quicker it gets the message and starts to work in alignment with your goals. Use something you do every day as your trigger to repeat your affirmations. For example, when you're in the shower, while shaving, or making the kids sandwiches for school, etc. You know what your daily routine is. Find what works best for you, but you must do this. Your mind responds to sensory input, so you can say them out loud, sing them, stand in front of a mirror, maintain eye contact with yourself whilst saying them. Write them down as you say them. Make a recording to play in your car or when exercising. Experiment and play with this to find the ideal mix that works for you. Here are some examples of affirmations for you. Again, you may choose to edit them or create your own, but these are just to give you a little bit of a prompt. My creativity is bringing only good into my life. See the present tense and positivity? I always concentrate on the good in all my affairs. Always. I'm doing it now. Limiting beliefs are melting away. Present tense. I have an abundance of good in my life. Have, good, positive, present tense. I love and accept myself just the way I am. I'm attracting all I need in this life. I dissolve blockages. Every day in every way I'm getting better and better, or richer and richer. This depends on how you define richer. I have abundant energy, vitality and well-being. I'm healthy in all areas of my life. I'm perfect just the way I am. Everything I touch turns to riches. 5. As your mind primarily thinks in pictures, use visualizations. We're all capable of daydreaming and of using our imagination to conjure up pictures of what we'd like. For example, that date out with the person that you haven't quite had the courage to ask out yet, or driving that brand new dream car of yours, or laying on a beach somewhere exotic. When you know specifically what your goals are, take time to picture precisely what you want. Make your vision as crisp, colourful, detailed and big as possible in your mind. Add in the sounds, the smells and the feelings associated with the vision. Engage all of your senses. If you have a goal for a new car, take it for a test drive in your mind. When you visualize, you can smell the leather, see the walnut dashboard, feel the response as you accelerate. Be very specific. For example, visualize a shiny black convertible Mercedes with cream leather interior and alloy wheels, not just a new car. Once again, make visualizations a daily habit. Have a specific time and a place to totally relax and take yourself into your vision. These are important practices and they're important disciplines to build into your day if you're to achieve the goals and subsequent happiness and fulfillment that you want. Throughout the day, take time out to daydream. As a bonus supplement to this course, I've created a creative visualization exercise for you that will inject a boost of energy into your goal setting. It'll help you to smash your goals, not just achieve them. Look out for this in the bonus section at the end of the course. Number 6, as well as writing your goal journal or your planner, You can create something called a treasure map. This is a visual representation of what it is that you want to attract into your life. If you want to move to your ideal house, cut pictures out of magazines of exactly the sort of house that you want, or use photographs. The sort of garden that you want, pictures from interior design magazines, or of the type of kitchen, bathroom, etc. that you want. Use visual reminders of the amount of money that you need to make your dream a reality. If you've ever received one of those pre-10 checks from Reader's Digest or one of those marketing companies, get it copied and enlarged. Keep your treasure map in full view so that you see it constantly. 7. Enlist the support of people who can help you achieve. This could be working with a coach or buddying up with a like-minded friend to meet regularly for update sessions to keep each other on track, encourage each other and celebrate together when you achieve your goals. 8. Establish what skills you need to acquire. What do you need to be doing to become the person who will achieve your goals? Do you need to enroll in college? What books do you need to read? What seminars will you attend? Will you join a networking group? See a style consultant, etc. 9. Bearing in mind you're now telling your subconscious mind that you are already in possession of your goals and your desires by daily use of affirmations, visualizations and treasure maps, and always using the present tense, it's time to act as if. This basically means acting in a fashion that presents to yourself and the outside world that you are already the person that you wish to become. This doesn't mean deceiving people, doing anything illegal or getting into debt by borrowing money to buy your dream car or house before you're ready to buy it, or running up the credit card bill buying designer clothes if you don't have the wherewithal to make the repayments. It can mean acting confidently when meeting new people, using a Mont Blanc or gold pen instead of a Bic biro, using your money to buy one good designer suit instead of cheap quality clothes. 10. You need to truly believe that you're already successful before success becomes yours. Instead of the old saying, "I'll believe it when I see it," change it to, "I'll see it, then I'll believe it." If you don't seriously believe, then you'll sabotage your own efforts. 11. When you think as a successful person thinks, act as a successful person acts, and believe you are successful, then as sure as the earth orbits the sun, you will become successful. 12. Don't forget to reward yourself along the way for achieving your goals. Your goal journal or planner will show you how far you've come. It's up to you what the milestones are and the type of reward that you'll give to yourself. If you're halfway to your ideal weight, going out for a slap-up meal is probably not how you're going to celebrate. But going to the theatre or buying the latest novel by your favourite author as your reward could be. It's entirely up to you. This part of the process mustn't be missed out. It's what keeps you going when things get tough, and it's what makes the process fun. Stay motivated. A great way to stay motivated is asking yourself thought-provoking questions. These powerful questions will help you learn more about yourself and remind you of your purpose, what you really want out of your goals, and what obstacles you need to overcome to achieve them. Ask yourself these questions daily or anytime you need a boost of motivation. You can write them down in your planner or your journal, or ponder them in a quiet place. Remember, it's important to be perfectly honest with yourself. There are no right or wrong answers here. So here we go. Who do I want to be? What would it take for me to be perfectly happy? How do I define success? What do I want most in life? What am I most grateful for? Why do I want to achieve my goal? How would I feel inside if I achieve my goal today? What would the consequences be if I don't achieve my goal? What stops me from being motivated, and how can I overcome these obstacles? Who can support me? What am I most fearful of? If I didn't have much time left, how would I plan to live my life? What would I regret not doing in my life? What inspires me in life? Who do I look up to and why? What do I like about myself? What habits do I want to change? Where do I want to be in 5 years from now? How committed am I to the promises I made myself? Your definite major purpose in life. Having a definite main purpose or major purpose is the point of all achievement. Your definite major purpose can be defined as the one goal that is most important to you at the moment. It's the one goal that will help you to achieve more of your other goals than anything else that you can accomplish. It must have the following certain characteristics. 1, it must be something that you want. Your desire for this goal must be so intense that the very idea of achieving your major purpose excites you and makes you happy. 2, it must be clear and specific. You must be able to define it in words. You must be able to write it down with such clarity that a child could read it and know exactly what it is that you want and be able to determine whether or not you have achieved it. Number 3, it must be measurable and quantifiable. Rather than I want to make a lot of money, it must be more like I will earn £100,000 per year by a specific date. 4, it must be both believable and achievable. Your definite major purpose cannot be so big or so ridiculous that it's completely unattainable. 5, your major definite purpose should have a reasonable probability of success. Perhaps 50-50 when you begin. If you've never achieved a major goal before, set a goal that has an 80% or 90% probability of success. Make it easy on yourself, at least at the beginning. Later on, you can set huge goals with very small probabilities of success, and you will still be motivated to take the steps necessary to achieve them. But in the beginning, set goals that are believable and achievable, and that have a high probability of success, so that you can be assured of it from the start. 6, your major definite purpose must be in tune with your other goals. You can't want to be financially successful in your career on the one hand and play golf most of the time on the other. Your major definite purpose must be in harmony with your minor goals and congruent with your values. Decide your definite major purpose. What one great thing would you dare to dream if you knew that you could not fail? Make a list of the 10 goals that you'd like to achieve in the months and the years ahead. In the present tense, put them in the planner. Select the one goal from that list that would have the greatest possible positive impact on your life. Determine how you will measure progress and success in achieving this goal. Write it down. Make a list of everything that you can do that will move you towards your goal. Take action on at least one thing immediately. Determine the price that you'll have to pay in additional work, time and commitment to achieving your goal, and then get busy paying that price. We'll move on now to some exercises to conclude the session, and the first one is one that you're familiar with, the Wheel of Life for goal setting. The Wheel of Life is probably the best personal inventory tool for displaying clearly and graphically the present balance of how satisfied you are with each area. Applied to goals, the Wheel of Life is one of the most transformative tools as it displays clearly and graphically the balance or imbalance of your present satisfaction or dissatisfaction with your goal subjects. By way of example, if you look on screen now, I've chosen to use the 10 key areas of happiness that we identified in session 2 of the course, as these elements play such an important part in our happiness. However, this is your wheel, and you should feel free to replace all or any of the elements with some of your own choices. You may even choose to create a wheel of life for each of the happiness elements separately, with sub-elements that you identify as being important to your experience. For example, if you created a wheel for satisfying work, you might create sub-elements for feeling fulfilled, promotion possibilities, or are my efforts appreciated? I'm sure you get my drift. Now it's your turn. This again appears in the planner that accompanies the course, and it appears on screen. Step 1, for each of the wheel segments, mark your score of satisfaction out of 10 with a dash. When you've completed all of the elements, join the dashes to see the visual balance or imbalance of your satisfaction level. Step 2, for each of the wheel segments, give a score to what you believe is an achievable ideal score that would bring you ultimate satisfaction in that area. Step 3, identify the gap between your actual level of satisfaction and your ideal score that you've given yourself. This gap is the area you'll aim to close with the goal setting. Step 4, as an example, imagine one of your elements' actual score was 4 out of 10, yet your ideal score was 9. Ask yourself, what would be required to bring that 4 nearer to 9? These are the steps of goal setting that you're looking to get started on. Produce your own copy of the Circle of Life, the Wheel of Life, and let's see where your gaps exist. Exercise 2 is your goal planner. Now this is the document that I've referred to in the in the course, throughout the course, and it was prepared after more than 25 years of research into the science of happiness and human potential. When you follow the planner, you'll be able to accomplish anything you really want. Life is a matter of habit. Successful people are simply those with habits that lead to success. You can learn the habits you need to reach maximum happiness by practicing continuous goal setting and daily action planning until these behaviours become automatic to you. After that, your wonderful future of health, wealth and happiness is assured. By completing this planner over the next 31 days, you'll develop positive habits that will lead you irresistibly onward to a life of happiness, success and achievement. The great secret of success is that there are no secrets of success. There are only principles that have proven effective throughout the centuries. As those of you who have travelled this far into the course, the Maximum Happiness course, will testify, if you change your thinking, you can change your life. You have great untapped reserves of potential within you. My job with this course and the goal planner is to help you release them. Decide what you want and then act as if it were impossible to fail. If you conduct yourself as though you expect to be successful and happy, you will seldom be disappointed. It's not what you say or wish or hope or intend. It's only what you do that counts. And that's where the Maximum Happiness Goal Planner comes in. Firstly, by incorporating the key elements of happiness and then taking action to acquire those that you haven't already secured. The first part of the planner takes you through information and exercises to pinpoint your present level of happiness, to reveal the real you behind the masks that society forces you to wear. Finding out how well your basic needs are being met or not. Your very own self-analysis test. Eliminating any negative or self-limiting beliefs. Identifying the core values so essential to goal setting. Testing how healthy your self-esteem is. And finally, revealing the perception cycle of thought, a transformative way of improving your outcomes. Armed with the invaluable information that you'll have learned and digested about yourself throughout the course up to this point, you're now ready to jump into the action section of the planner. I'm going to conclude this session on goals with a message of hope for the future in these uncertain times. As I mentioned at the beginning of this session, the year 2020 has brought so much tragedy around the globe, with so many lives sadly lost, jobs and businesses a casualty, and the suspension of so many of our personal freedoms and privileges as a result of this dreaded coronavirus pandemic. Many of us have been spared the grief of lost loved ones, lost incomes and businesses, and yet we've had to endure the traumatic changes of circumstances with lockdowns and social distancing rules. For those of us who have suffered these impositions on our daily lives, I want to introduce a sense of proportion and perspective with a true story that may serve as a beacon of hope for all of our futures. Back in September 2018, I attended an awards event for the industry that I'm involved in, the insurance industry. We picked up an award that day which made me very proud of my team and our accomplishments. My euphoria and excitement was quickly replaced with a sense of awe, humility and respect upon hearing the story being told by the guest speaker that was there that day. I'm proud to retell the story of an extremely brave and inspirational man who I'm honoured to call a friend. His name is Dave Watson. On screen now is Dave's story. A salute to a real hero, a beacon of hope in difficult times. I'm proud to retell the story of an extremely brave and inspirational man who I'm honoured to call a friend. His name is Dave Watson. In 2008, Dave achieved a lifetime ambition to serve his country by joining the Scots Guard Regiment and serving as a guardsman for the Queen at Buckingham Palace, as well as the Queen's residence at Balmoral. However, the Queen's Guards are not merely colourful attractions for tourists, they are active servicemen and women. Dave was posted to Afghanistan in 2010. He was on patrol, tasked to find an improvised explosive device. While on duty in the Helmand province, he turned to help a fellow soldier who had fallen down. As he twisted to turn, he took a wrong step onto a Taliban explosive device. Dave lost both of his legs and his right forearm in the explosion. For many, as a triple amputee, this would have meant the end to an active life. But this is where Dave's true courage and determination showed itself, turning life-changing adversity into inspirational opportunity. Recovering at the MOD's Specialist Headley Court Medical Centre, he amazed medics with his recovery and was chosen as a 2012 Olympic torchbearer to carry the flame in Blackpool on June the 22nd during its journey around Britain. Dave said, "I'm really proud that I'll be carrying the Olympic flame. It's an absolutely fantastic once-in-a-lifetime opportunity." This life-changing incident led to major surgery at the Royal Centre for Defence Medicine at the Queen Elizabeth Hospital in Birmingham, followed by gruelling rehabilitation. One of the things which kept him going through all of this was his positive can-do nature and his love of sport. When the idea of Paralympic sports was presented to Dave, he didn't need much persuasion to give it a go, and was soon back in the sports arena with his competitive juices flowing again. His challenges were just beginning. He set himself the goal to become a medal-winning athlete at the Invictus Games, set up in 2014 by His Royal Highness Prince Harry. 6 years after sustaining his injury, his long and painful journey met with disappointment when he failed to make the cut for the 2016 Games. But Dave is made of tougher stuff, and he wasn't about to give up. The Queen was reunited with a triple amputee soldier that she once danced with, and when she met wounded war heroes learning to walk again on artificial legs, she watched as Guardsman Dave Watson and two comrades showed her the different stages of getting prosthetic limbs fitted, visibly moved by their bravery and tenacity. The monarch has waved generations of men in her family off to war, and as Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces has felt the pain of loved ones of the 444 British service personnel who have died in Afghanistan in the past decade. Among them was Guardsman Watson, 26, of the Scots Guards, who had both legs and an arm blown off by an improvised explosive device in southern Afghanistan in 2010. Before I got injured, I used to talk to the Queen every day when I was based at Balmoral for 3 months. She comes around every day to see what's going on, and so does Prince Philip, said Guardsman Watson from Preston, who was having new limbs fitted after an operation. I even danced arm in arm with her at the Gillies Ball, he said. Prince Philip and Prince Charles had both written to Dave after his injury, citing his time with the family at Balmoral, and Charles sent him a bottle of Highgrove whisky. There was no time to chat about such things today when the Queen was here, but Dave the Guardsman insisted it means a lot for the Queen to come here today just to see what it's like, what everyone is going through and the progress that they're making. 2017 saw Dave's commitment pay off when he was selected for the Toronto Invictus Games. He said, "I've waited a long time for a chance to compete at an event of the stature of the Invictus Games. After disappointment in not making the team for the 2016 Games, I was delighted to make the cut this year. I've been training hard and I'm looking forward to getting out there and giving it my best shot." And here's a photo of Dave with Prince Harry and also one with Prince Philip. The Toronto Invictus Games 2017. Not content with merely competing, Dave Watson won the gold medal for discus and the bronze medal for shot put. Most of us will never know the full horrors of combat. Many servicemen and women suffer life-changing injuries, visible or otherwise, while serving their country. How do these men and women find the motivation to move on and not be defined by their injuries? On a trip to the Warrior Games in the USA in 2013, Prince Harry, His Royal Highness the Duke of Sussex, saw firsthand how the power of sport can help physically, psychologically and socially those suffering from injuries and illness. He was inspired by his visit, and the Invictus Games were born. The word Invictus means unconquered. It embodies the fighting spirit of wounded, injured and sick service personnel, and personifies what these tenacious men and women can achieve post-injury. The Games harness the power of sport to inspire recovery, support, rehabilitation, and generate a wider understanding and respect for those who serve their countries. The Invictus Games is about much more than just sport. It captures hearts, challenges minds, and changes lives. The Sydney Games 2018. Not a man to rest on his laurels, Dave was selected for the Sydney Invictus Games held on October the 20th, 2018. He said, "Sydney 2018 was a chance to prove that there's no limit and that being an amputee is not the end of my sporting journey. I'm working hard to retain my title in the discus and to see if I can improve on my bronze in the shot. I'm also pushing myself further as I've been selected to participate in rowing and archery. David trains twice a week with a British athletics coach and is working towards competing internationally. He added, "The Invictus Games gives you the power to believe in yourself and become a member of an amazing team." And improve upon his performance he did. Not only did Dave retain his gold medal in discus in Sydney, he won the gold for shot put and 2 silver medals for indoor rowing. The remarkable accomplishments Dave keeps on achieving have been funded thanks to kind donations from his family, friends and supporters. Proving that light can yet shine through tragedy. Whilst recovering from his injuries, Dave fell in love and later married Becky, the nurse who had cared for him. Adding to their children from previous relationships, they now have a lovely daughter. As you sleep peacefully in your beds, our troops have stood on guard, ready to give life and limb so that we may enjoy freedom. To all who protect and serve, we sincerely thank and salute you. This video indicates that a fulfilling life can be made after a tragedy. Dave Watson now enjoys a successful career as a popular motivational speaker. He tells his story in a compelling, engaging and often humorous way with his humble and self-effacing manner. Dave says, "I feel I can use my experience and the obstacles I have overcome in my life to encourage others to see that they can achieve their dreams." Despite suffering life-changing injuries back in 2010, I can honestly say that anything is possible. I also firmly believe that everything happens for a reason, no matter how incomprehensible it may seem at the time. I feel that given what happened to me in the army and where life has taken me since, I can help anyone realise that anything is possible, if you have the right mindset, the determination and belief in yourself. Motivational speaking is my way of giving something back that can help others. Life as a triple amputee presents no shortage of daily challenges. Being injured has given me a fresh perspective on life and has made me the person I am today. Rather than let my situation define me, it has made me more determined to achieve and be resilient to whatever life has to throw at me. Dave Watson can be booked for inspiring motivational talks and sessions on his website at www.dwmotivation.co.uk. I hope Dave's story provided some perspective, inspiration and hope for the future. The world has been delivered a catastrophic blow in the form of the coronavirus. The suffering of those who have lost loved ones to the pandemic must never be trivialised or ignored. For those of us who have been blessed with good health, the fact that some of our freedoms have been temporarily restricted and livelihoods affected, we must look beyond this to the future. Whatever restrictions are placed upon us, they will, in the fullness of time, be seen as temporary, and some sense of normality will eventually be resumed. In the meantime, courses like this one, Maximum Happiness, have been created and are here to help take steps in preparation to reclaiming the happiness, fulfillment and human potential that every human being on the planet deserves. Thank you for following this session on the power of goals. I hope you'll find that there's plenty of hope and guidance in this session to help you become the architect of your own future destiny. Coming up in session 19, the power of relationships. Your relationships with other people undoubtedly contribute the majority of happiness or unhappiness that you'll experience in life. Understand the vital role of healthy personalities, combining the knowledge of the foregoing sessions of the course to create wonderful, healthy relationships that will contribute immensely to your growth, happiness and well-being. Thank you.